Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a Patreon cast featuring Rocket and GhostsShadow here on Amphion. Love this map. Bottom left, it's going to be Rocket. Top left, it is Shadow. GhostsShadow, says Rocket. GhostsShadow says, what? I'm confused by this, despite my name being GhostsShadow. Maybe he's, you know, says Rocket. It's not GhostsShadow, it's GhostsShadow. Those are different things. It's a shadow of a ghost, not GhostsShadow, which is the name of an, I guess maybe a criminal? Or maybe some anti-hero back in the comics, back in the 70s? GhostsShadow? Do it again? What are we talking about? Do it again, says GhostsShadow. I don't know, man. So, Rocket likes cheesing. He does weird stuff. I'm curious what he's up to here. It's the classic patented Rocket double gas opening into Engineering Bay. Well, maybe after barracks, to go ahead and upgrade to a planetary fortress in your main here. Because we are at the lower levels. We are having a good time. About as far from Morrow as we can get on the ladder. North American, bronze, silver-ish leagues, right? That's where we're living right now. This has to be an Engineering Bay as soon as he has the cash for it. 125, go? Nope, we made something else instead. There's the Engineering Bay. Okay, tossing it down. Yeah, so I mean, look. It protects you against Reapers pretty well. Like, you don't have to have good Reaper control to defend against Reapers if you just upgrade your main to a planetary. Ooh, this is the... Oh, it is. It's the Borderlands skin. It's the cell-shaded outline, which I really like. He's got a Team Liquid spray on here, too. That's cool. Love Team Liquid. Liquipedia, the best resource for StarCraft in the entire world. And then GhostsShadow goes Rax, Bunker, second command center inside his base, no orbital, no planetary for his main command center. So both players doing their own thing here, marching to the beat of their own drum, which I'm a huge fan of. Factory coming in here from Rocket, a tank plus a planetary plus a couple turrets makes you pretty invulnerable to any kind of early harass. I mean, you'll die to a regular army, no doubt, but if harassment shows up, you're in a good place. I'm curious. I'm more curious about what GhostsShadow's play is here. He is upgrading to an orbital. Okay, he's getting a second gas later than Rocket did. He is getting a factory too. Mech is easier to control than Bio, than like Marines and Marauders and stuff, in this matchup especially. Mass Thor's pretty strong. I mean, tanks and Thors and like maybe some Hellbats are pretty great too. We've seen Rocket use Thors in the past. He's very comfortable with it. And the fact this is a tech lab tells me probably Thor. Some kind of a Thor rush, maybe. Getting a starport so you can drop a Thor in the enemy base is a very cool strat. You don't necessarily have to get the timing perfect on it either. It's kind of fun that way. But yeah, honestly, get a factory, get a starport, tech lab here, make a single medevac, pick up the Thor with the medevac, fly over here, unload it here, and all of a sudden, like, I think we're just dead. There is a siege tank on the way from GhostsShadow. Siege tanks are very good against Thors. They outrange them, they do bonus damage against them, and hit them like trucks. So probably would be able to deal with the Thor if there was a tank here, but on the other side of things, we're not doing a Thor drop, so it doesn't really matter. We are building tanks. Guess what? Both players getting tanks. Tanks good in this matchup. Just because, man, you can have tanks sitting somewhere in this matchup, and you don't have to do anything. Your enemy just walks into all the tanks, their army dies, and then you win. You don't even have to micro. You don't have to do anything. It's really nice. Tanks are fun that way. Ooh, there is a starport from Rocket, though, and he's got a turret. So, yeah, this is impregnable. You cannot get in here with any... I mean, how many Marines would you need to break this? Right? Man, so many. Like 30. You need so many Marines to break this thing. They'd probably die anyway. So, Siege taking up here the natural. Good. 2 bases here from GhostsShadow. Still the 1 base plays here from Rocket. Let's see if he goes for the 1 base aggression. Or... as unfortunately happens sometimes at this level of StarCraft, you go on 1 base, and then you sit there. Being on 1 base and sitting there is the worst thing you can do. Oh, he's getting a fusion core. That's outside of scan radius. Oh, that's a good place for it. Good thinking. Good thinking by Rocket. But yeah, sitting on 1 base and doing nothing, attacking no one, scouting nothing is terrible. Do not do that. If you're 1 basing, sure. Maybe rush to a battle cruiser. If you're 1 basing, sure. Rush to some kind of a Thor drop. But you have to be aggressive with it. You can't sit here on 1 base and do nothing. But Rocket appears to be doing the right thing. He's loading up some dudes while he's waiting for his fusion core to finish. He's probably going to make a battle cruiser. He needs a tech lab. He realizes that. Tech lab's up the starport, and this might line up fairly nicely, actually. Let's see if that lines up. So fusion core done. Tech lab, a few seconds from completion, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, so coming up the left side is a little bit of a drop. It's not a Thor drop, but it is a tank drop with some Marines. Yeah, siege up the tank. Let's go. Oh, he's bringing Marines in to try to shut this thing down, or his SCVs are coming in to shut this thing down. And this is actually going a little bit better than I thought it would, and they get the tank with the SCVs and these Marines firing at it. Absolutely fantastic. Big fan. I mean, how many SCVs died there? 9 SCVs died. Not great. 24 to 21 workers now. Rocket has a worker lead despite having 1 base fewer than his enemy here. A battle cruiser is now on the way. And now making a second command center. So let's see how good a battle cruiser will do here. Honestly, pretty great. Pretty amazing. There's a couple turrets here, but if you just jump right here, all these SCVs die. A lot of them are already previously injured and not being healed up or repaired by GhostsShadow. You probably should do that. Like, having SCVs in your mineral line with 11 hit points is not going to do well for you. Giant Grant Games actually posted a video a couple days ago where he played a mod that somebody made for him where every unit and building has 1 hit point. Amazing. Like, really, really funny stuff. He's got a great channel. Much better than mine. He does a lot of work with it. He deserves it for sure. But yeah, good stuff. Like, it's hilarious to see a whole planetary have 1 hit point. So if anything does 1 point of damage to it, it explodes. Oh, good times. Range is amazing in that mod. If you can outrange your enemy, you win everything. Okay, Cyclone's a pretty good anti-battle cruiser, but they do need to be microed properly, and I'm not sure I expect that here from GhostsShadow, who is currently supply blocked. Going to make it harder to make more of those Cyclones. Getting a 3rd CC here, too. And Rocket might... Let's see how long it takes him to take that command center and float it over. He jumped the BC, and there is some micro. A little bit. Oh my gosh, the SCV death count here is pretty nuts. Okay, lock on, lock on, lock on, lock on. Yeah, just go this way. Just, yes. Move while shooting. And the injured SCVs are falling so quickly, but, you know, the non-injured ones are falling pretty quickly, too, in all fairness. And he can't jump this out because he jumped it in. But I don't know, 16 kills on a BC that showed up at your base. Not bad. It's going to die, but 18 kill BC is worth. That was worth a battle cruiser attack. Okay, so Rocket, now that he has his command center, now that he's done microing his battle cruiser, he's going to land it at his natural. GhostsShadow's 3rd CC is not quite done yet. Looks like he's, I mean, based on this position, is he going to mine this out and then maybe float the command center over here? That'd be interesting. This is an easier base to take. It takes less time and less weird mining to get there, but hey, I'm okay with it. Scans, sees the 2nd base, says, okay, he's got a 2nd base now. I can get a 3rd base, or I can try to kill him with my current 2-base economy, which is better than his. It is 30 to 11 army supply. GhostsShadow is sitting on 2 siege tanks, 4 Cyclones, 3 Vikings, and 7 Marines, which is better than the 1 tank, 1 Marauder, 1 Marine, 1 Reaper army of Rocket. He has a Widow Mine too. And there it is. So Widow Mine might get some work done here. Okay, Cyclones are injured. Again, GhostsShadow not doing a great job repairing. He does not walk these Cyclones into this Widow Mine, does he? Oh, or into the siege tank. That'd be pretty bad too. Yeah, maybe don't walk up this ramp. He's doing the thing. Yeah, he's totally mining through this. And then he can lift the orbital and put it over here if he wants to. Cool. So, everything's chill. We're having a good time. Resources lost are 1,800 for GhostsShadow and 1,200 for Rocket. Makes sense, right? We saw some good drops. We saw a lot of stuff die for GhostsShadow. We saw Rocket lose everything he has sent in to GhostsShadow's base too. Raven up from the Rocket. Maybe a little interference matrix research would be neat here. Maybe a good just a turret, right? A little auto turret action. Marines being produced. GhostsShadow spending his money pretty well. He's only at 30 workers. Doesn't have full saturation at either of his bases. Especially the no gas here at the 2nd base is going to be a problem for him. And so we go. So yeah, we mine open, we lift, we land. Yes, Falcon can predict certain things in the future. High-sec auto-tracking coming in from Rocket. A great upgrade. We don't see it a lot in pro games because it doesn't matter as much, but at this level, it certainly does matter. Big fan. Man, I just love the cell shading on this skin. Big fan of it. Don't see it a lot, especially not in red. I feel like we usually see it in blue, and it doesn't quite pop as much. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I haven't even played that much Borderlands. I got Borderlands 2 on PS Plus like 15 years ago. Then Claptrap wouldn't stop yelling at me, and then Handsome Jack wouldn't stop yelling at me. And I was like, I don't want to play this game where people just yell at me, and so I stopped. That's my Borderlands experience, but the visual style stuck with me enough to where I was impressed by it and liked it. Okay, good. Okay, excellent. Sacrificing a Marine for a Widowmine. It's basically like sacking a Ling, just a little bit more expensive. You know how that math works. So Thor production here from Rocket, hanging out on 2 base, 3 bases for his enemy. But Rocket's feeling confident in his position. He cannot really be attacked into that easily. High ground, tanks, bunkers, missile turrets everywhere. So if you're GhostsShadow, what I think I would do... He's got 4 tanks. So honestly, I would put the tanks here, siege him up here, scan to get high ground, kill that enemy tank, and then siege from that point on. I think that'd be pretty great. Your 4 tanks can kill 1 tank before it dies to 1 tank. The math checks out there. It's a little bit tricky. You do have to take some hits. It's frustrating that way, but can definitely work out. Oh, there we go. Interference Matrix is coming in. Oh, from GhostsShadow. Never mind. Rocket doesn't have it, but GhostsShadow is going to go ahead and get Disable there. There's another scan. Viking trying to get something done, but there are so many turrets hanging out here that it is not a good place for a Viking to be. Alright. Viking down, free Viking. I mean, we're getting some free kills here. But that is the nature of the lower level StarCraft, man. Sometimes you just get free kills. Sometimes somebody will send 12 Lings into your giant Marine Marauder ball just because they aren't really paying attention to where they're going, and you get free kills. That's not something that I ever do with my Lings. Nope. No, sir. I always pay extra special attention to them at all times. Army value 55 to 46 in favor of GhostsShadow. The 3rd base is awesome. The tanks back here are not really helping aggressively, but defensively it's going to be a hard nut to crack here. Especially if Rocket's going for as many Thors as I feel like he is. He currently has 2 of them. He is prepared for battle cruisers to show up by switching his Thor into single target anti-air mode. Does more damage to big things. We're trying to contain. GhostsShadow, building turrets here, building turrets here. Just trying to maybe keep Rocket on 2 bases while he's on 3. And maybe even getting a 4th base right now would not be too bad. Rocket's worried about this mineral line while getting mined out. And attack coming through that direction. So he's going to hardwall it with supply depots. You know what? You're almost supply blocked now, making 5 supply depots at a time at 13 minutes. I'm not going to say that's a bad thing. You do you, man. That's great at this level of StarCraft. More command centers being produced here from GhostsShadow. He's like, maybe I can expand a whole bunch. That'd be neat. Auto turrets, Rocket tossed down. Oh, what did he do? What did he wipe out with those? Ah, he just took down the attempt of building a turret here with... I mean, 1 auto turret would have gotten the job done. But 3 auto turrets is fine. It's just energy, right? Not a big deal. Yeah, auto turrets do not last nearly as long as they used to, but they still hit like trucks. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Well, 2 high ground siege tanks in range will be a problem. This one's set far back enough. I don't think that's an issue for you. Interferent dudes. Spell casting in my brave noob world. What is this? Interferes with it, gets a free hit off, and kills it before the interference matrix wears off. Drags some Marines down the ramp, and they die. So great engagement so far from GhostsShadow. Okay, lost to Viking for no reason there. Not great, but, you know, 2 steps forward here. We got this. Maybe 1 step back, but we're still making progress. Yeah, Rocket on 2 bases is a problem for him. And this whole missile turret ring that's being set up around him, too, is a major issue. Let's see. He can probably get out of here. I mean, I do feel like this is going to be more of a mass Thor play out of Rocket. He's got 3 Thors. He's making another one. See, here we go. Scan up the ramp. Siege tanks get free hits. Go. Building armor upgrade, giving these bunkers extra slots. Not, I mean, they are being, you can put 3 Marauders inside one now, and that's exactly what Rocket has done. Dude, bring a Raven over, get some vision of this high ground, scoot your tanks up, and you got this thing. I think this is totally doable. I think GhostsShadow might just have this thing. Oh, he's scanning to get high ground vision, which can't be killed because it's a scan instead of a unit, but here we go. Raven, there you go. Provide the vision. Anti-armor missile gets tossed down on an enemy tank. Take bets on if this tank will take shots enough for the anti-armor missile to matter. And then he disables it. He anti-armors it and disables the tank, and it's not going to take any damage at all. Watch this. Oh, no, hang on. Maybe. And... oh, it did take a hit. And then the second hit was after the anti-armor wore off. Rocket coming down the ramp, trying to engage, throwing down auto turrets, bringing a Marauder down the ramp too. Not exactly fantastic. Both players starting to float cash as they're microing, and it is hard to macro while you're microing at this level of StarCraft. Yeah, 4th base up here. Got a sensor tower in case an attack is coming. It is 65 to 42 army supply, and at this point, I think contain is probably good enough. You can just keep making siege tanks, keep making Vikings, keep making Marines. The classic composition that's always good. Make sure this doesn't happen. Try to keep eyes on any other place that a Ninja Expand would go down from Rocket. Keep him on 2 bases, be on 4 or 5 bases. Just set up a big, huge army down here and hope Rocket moves into you. Because Rocket moving into you will get a lot of work done. All right, Rocket moving out. Trying to win a Viking battle here. Taking some take shots, taking some Thor shots. Never good. I do love that Ravens do that barrel roll if they're idle for a while. The idle animation is great. We're going to try to auto turret down the ramp. Hey! You know? Okay. Gets some work done. Takes down a turret. Kills a couple Marines. Why are there no reinforcements for GhostsShadow down here? He is sending down a million siege tanks. He's got a ton of Marines that he needs to just bring down here. He needs this contain to be awesome. Dude, he is absolutely spellcasting like a beast right now. Is there anything to follow up on it? Siege up the tanks. All right, siege tanks against Thors. Oh gosh, Thor's taking so much damage here, but they have a lot of HP, and they can defend themselves. That ground attack is pretty strong, and by golly, they take it out. This Thor should be dead, but he's got 2 kills and 4 hit points. And Rocket has broken out, friends. All right, man. TVT sometimes. It's weird. You get weird engagements like that. Oh, these SCVs are stuck on the outside. You can lower the supply depot, though, and bring your SCVs back inside the house. Yeah, if GhostsShadow loses this game, I'm going to blame it pretty much entirely on spending and not bringing these Marines out to the front. I love how there's an SCV in this group. Day 3. Among the Marines. They still think I'm one of them. Nobody suspects a thing. I don't have to work. I just get to stand here with my buddies. Okay, Rocket getting a 3rd base here at 18 minutes. Be more of a problem for Rocket if Ghost had more bases, but the man is getting his 4th. It's being saturated right now, and he's getting a 5th base too. So, I mean, you don't know how comfortable Rocket's going to be moving out. GhostsShadow's making nukes. He's got triple Ghost Academy. It is pretty much just Thors here from Rocket. 6 Thors on the ground, another one on the way. Upgrades are +2 vehicle weapons. On the other side, GhostsShadow has +1 infantry, and that's about it for attack and armor as far as those upgrades go. Are these just used as orbitals? I guess they could be. Yeah, gas is really what GhostsShadow's struggling with right now. So saturating these gases fully would be nice. These are expired, so yep, we're going to have to replace those at some point. Expanding here would be good. Just make sure you cover this ramp leading into the base, and you'll be just fine. And maybe watch these minerals too, because this map has a ton of secret backdoor entrances that are protected only by some minerals. This is actually pretty good. Okay, so everybody hanging out here on Amphion, having a great time in Terran versus Terran land. I would say mass battlecruisers would be good in a super late game TVT at this level, but there are a lot of Thors for Rocket, and he knows how to use that single target attack, so not as good. Although if the battlecruisers have Yamato and they're thinning out the herd, maybe mass battlecruiser could defeat mass Thor. Depends on the target firing, I would say. Which, again, not going to be a ton of individual target firing here. Holy muling Batman. Calls down 12 mules. Yeah, man. GhostsShadow. I mean, he's maxed out. We've got 2,000, 1,500 minerals in the bank. He's spending pretty darn well. 71 workers to 47 on the other side. GhostsShadow economically should probably win this game. But sometimes at this level, economics aren't everything. Sometimes it's about you just kind of made the wrong composition. Your enemy is countering you perfectly, and you dead now. As Rocket takes a 4th base on the high ground, immediately turrets it up. Yeah, he got his 3rd base, and his 4th base was pretty quick. Love to see that. Maybe even expand back here, too. Not that he has the cash for it. He doesn't quite have the orbital count that our guy GhostsShadow does, so. Alright, man. He says I'm maxed out. Might as well move out, and he is. So he's got +1 attack Marines. He's got mech with no upgrades. He has air with no upgrades. But the man has a nuke. And he knows how to use interference matrix. Dude, a nuke on these Thors would really make this battle go better. See, this is the thing. It's Marines versus Thors and siege tanks. And there's a Hellbat in there for some reason. There's only one Hellbat. One Hellbat. They can see each other here, right? Kind of. A little bit. They both know there is enemy barely on the edge of their periphery, but not much else. So he scans in and says, So he anti-armor missiles the whole thing, goes in there, tries to wipe out the Vikings would be my guess the strategy. The Thors jump in. Ghosts are just kind of at the front lines taking tank shots. That's not great at all. Rocket's like, lol. You know, a lot of Marines against my Thors and my siege tanks. What is wrong with you? +2 attack on these Thors too. Upgrades are a big deal. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, if there are upgrades on these guys and they were more Marauder heavy, they'd do great against these Thors. But Marines are so darn squishy, and Thors have so many hit points, and suddenly it's 108 to 43 total supply. Rocket is on the move, on the march, and GhostsShadow might just die. Like I said, the man has a bigger army and a better economy, but compositional choice matters a ton in StarCraft. And in any RTS. Absolutely true for everything. Age of Empires, Command and Conquer. Probably true for Stormgate, although I haven't played any of that. Defensive nuke attempt! Please, says GhostsShadow. Please stand inside the nuke circle. No, says Rocket. I will not do that. And the nuke lands. Kills a tree. These Thors are fighting at a planetary, but they're going to take it down. Dude, these Thors are gods among men right now. 6 kills, 7 kills, 5 kills. Just crushing through. Rocket building a Marauder back home. GhostsShadow says, man, you're good. You just built the right thing. I should have owned you. I mean, yes. Yes, you should have. I had way more bases. Yeah, see, GhostsShadow is learning this lesson right now. Rocket rocking it on YouTube, says Rocket. Oh, check him out. Check out Rocket. I'll put a link to his channel on YouTube. Rocket rocking it. Why, says Shadow. You don't know how many bases I had. It's an interesting point that he's making here. All right, so this game's over. 82 to 626 army supply. GhostsShadow's producing advanced ballistics for the Liberators that he doesn't currently own. His battle cruisers might try to fight this thing and get a win. That'd be kind of nice. Where are the battle cruisers, though, guy? Here they are. They're all over just down here. They could get engaged. You have 3 bases. 1, 2, 3. That's 4. That's, you see 4 on the map. I had 5. Why doesn't 5 base just auto kill 4? Because that's not how this works, man. There. See, Rocket knows. Rocket understands this game better than Shadow does. So, these Thors are all very injured. Well, 3 of them aren't. The rest of them are. And I guess 3 battle cruisers probably not going to get this job done. And that's it. Oh, we don't get the battle. Hold on. No, we don't get the battle. All right, GG. Rocket gets the win in 24 minutes and 32 seconds. A pretty excellent little display by him. And yeah, what a GG. That was absolutely some good stuff by Rocket, and we talked about this a bunch already. Just because you have more bases and a better economy and a bigger army does not mean you win the game. Sometimes compositions are everything. You can go mass Marine against someone who went mass Colossus. You can have 200 supply of Marines, and they can have 30 supply of Colossus, and you're going to lose. Yeah? Yeah. So, GG there. GhostsShadow, good macro. Got to figure out, scout what your enemy is doing, and then try to counter that. Resources lost, 26,000 for GhostsShadow, 11,000 for Rocket. Yep, so big freaking deal there. How many Thors died for this man? He lost 8, but he had 13 at the end of the game. That's a pretty good ratio. Killed 3 planetaries with his Thors. Killed 3 orbitals too. But yeah, Mass Thor at this level, pretty hard to deal with. You have to know the right thing to make to counter it. And that's a GG. Okay, well, that was fun, and that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin, coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.